Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome to Early Years Matters TV. On this channel, we focus on early childhood, we give parenting tips, and we also review toys. If these are the kind of things you're looking for, what you have to do, subscribe, and not just subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so that you will be the first person to be notified each time a new video is being dropped on this channel. So today, I'm going to be talking about another question you're likely to be asked at a job interview. For some of you that you've been following me on this channel, you know for the past few weeks I've been looking at questions you're likely to be asked at a teacher job interview. Yes, I know this is the season of interviews, emergent educators applying for jobs, being called for interviews, educators trying to change their present position to move to somewhere else for one reason or the other. So what is this question that you're likely to be asked at a teacher job interview? You're likely to be asked the question of, can you talk us through your CV? Yes, it's not even you're likely to be asked, you're definitely going to be asked. You might be wondering, you sent your CV already. Why would they ask you to talk them through your CV? Yes, you're going to be asked this question. You need to understand that there are many people that have sent in their CV. Obviously, your future employer, they just glance through your CV and they look like, yes, this person met the criteria we're looking for. Okay, let's call them for interview and see if they're the right candidate. So you're definitely going to be asked this question. Can you talk us through your CV? So in relation to answering this question, can you talk us through your CV? Educators, it is important that when you're talking about your CV, talk about the experience that you have that relates to the present job that you're applying for. I know as individuals with lots of experience, you've worked in different places. Let's say, for instance, you want to work as a preschool teacher, but you have an experience maybe as a bar assistant, you have an experience as a receptionist. It's important here because it's all about people skills. But if you have other experience related to looking after children, stress more on this when you're being asked to talk about your CV. So those experience that you have that is not related to preschool teacher, talk about them briefly and focus really more on the ones that are specific to being a preschool teacher. Yes, it's really important. Take note of this. If you're being asked to talk about your CV at a preschool interview, try to expatiate more on the experience that related to a preschool assistant. So if you've other experience, if you've worked at a bar attendant, as a receptionist, as a customer service, as a marketer, just talk about this and link it to how it relates to people's skills, looking after people, attending to people's needs. And then the experience that you have that relates to a preschool teacher, expatiate more on this. Let's say, for instance, if you've been a childminder, a babysitter, explain more on this, that, for the last 3 years, you've been a babysitter, you've been a minder, you've been a nanny, and talk about the children that you've looked after. Okay, you've looked after children from, let's say, for instance, the position is for a baby room, okay? And then you've experienced as a babysitter looking after babies. Then talk about this and say, for the last 3 years, I've been a babysitter, I've been a nanny looking after a 6-month-old baby, deployed to look after the child while the parent at work. Can you see that you've already related your CV to the present job? And then they will definitely tick the box and say, yes, you're the right candidate. So future teachers, do not make this mistake. When you're being told to talk about your CV, don't dwell more on the experience that doesn't relate to the position that you apply for. So talk about the experience that relates to the present position that you apply for. Talk briefly on all those experiences that doesn't relate. Talking about it related to how it's really important for this role as well. For instance, people skills, attending to people, and then dwell on the one that relates to the present job that you're applying for. And to understand that if you answer the question this way, you're definitely the right candidate. You need to also understand that this is the second question you're likely to be asked after the question of tell us about yourself. The next question will be to talk about your CV. So in conclusion, like I said, just to wrap up, remember when you're being asked at a teacher job interview to talk about your CV, try to relate it to the job that you're applying for. All the experience that you have that doesn't relate to the job, just talk about them briefly and try as much as possible to relate it to the present job, and then focus on the experience that you have that relates to the job that you're applying for. I tell you, if you do this, you're definitely the right candidate. If you want more of interview tips, what you have to do, subscribe, and not just subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you'll be the first person to be notified each time a new video is being dropped. Until I come your way next time, stay safe and mind yourselves for now. Bye.